to tell everybody about your relationship with collard greens before we get into it, okay? I'm gonna start getting everything together for you.
Okay, collards and greens. I mean, that's something you have every Sunday. Maybe you have green beans also, but Mother and Daddy had a garden, and everybody we knew had a garden, so we probably had greens that were picked from our garden or somebody else's anytime we had greens. I really don't remember Mother shopping for greens at the grocery store.
Watch out.
And that's a good memory since I've been an adult, that Mother would go with me to pick greens around holiday. That's a real good memory. I wasn't thinking so fondly of it when I was growing up, because who wants to be in the garden? We didn't, but we certainly enjoyed the fresh greens. That's another thing. You can, if you're buying your collards or your turnip greens at grocery store or farmer's market, you can taste them raw and see what kind of flavor they're gonna have cooked. Just pinch off a little and taste it raw. These collards we got at a kind of a specialty grocer here in Houston, and they're very, it looks like young greens, because it's not that thick, really heavy green that you think of when you have collards, but it's tender. I think they're young. And as I'm tasting it tastes more bitter and savory. I think it's gonna be great. I like bitter and savory. Some people don't, and this is like such a no-no to me. If you put sugar in greens, no. But if that's what you like, you grew up doing that takes you back, fine, but you won't ever find me doing that.
No?
Nope, I love the bitter, and if I taste the green and it doesn't seem to pop like I know the flavor ought to be, I normally buy some broccoli rabe. Sometimes it's called broccolini. That's so bitter, and it goes nicely with almost any green. I use it with collards, I use it with turnip greens, mustard greens, and cabbage. Sometimes if you don't have the flavor you need, that it's real fresh greens, broccoli rabe, broccolini, add that to it, just a little bit of it. And as far as the stems, I took the toughest part of the stems off of these, and then I added it. I chopped some of it. This has still the skinny part of the stalk on it. Then I chopped some of the thick part, because there's so much flavor in that. And I put that back in, not all of them, but I put it back in. So that'll help you with the flavor. Now, we have, I'm gonna start warming some olive oil so I can cook my onions.
We want it on high heat, what?
Medium high heat. I'll have garlic, onions and garlic.
Got the garlic right there.
And I wash these greens already.
What's your washing process? Because that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
People like to talk about. Some people get freaked out when they see people put greens in the sink. Mm-hmm. Some people think, you put them in a strainer. Like, what is the washing process?
Well, I wouldn't freak out. I would use Clorox spray to clean the sink first. Always do that. Clean both sinks.
Clean your sinks with Clorox. Do not clean your greens with Clorox.
Right. And rinse that down before you start with your greens. And I really leaf by leaf, because greens can be so gritty with dirt, and also people have handled them. So leaf by leaf. This takes some time, but you got to do it. You don't want it. Worst thing to do is bite into some grit, and you don't want to do that. So clean each leaf and put it over for draining. When that's clean and drained, I line the leaves up just so it makes the chopping of the stem easier. So the stem would have been down here, I chop it there, and then I got a handful of good greens over there, put back in to the mix. When the onions and garlic and olive oil are ready, I'll put the greens down. The greens have so much water in it, it'll start cooking away right away. So this is probably gonna cook down. This is 3 pounds, but it's probably gonna cook down to look like 1 pound when it's done.
All right, so so what are we gonna use? We're using a Dutch oven for this?
We're using a Dutch oven, but we're not gonna use the lid. And I'll tell you about that later as we go.
Okay, so we got that heating up too as well. For these collard greens, like she said, we just got our greens here. We got our chopped onions too as well. You're gonna use minced garlic or whole garlic?
I'm gonna use minced.
How many cloves do you think
That's
that
about 3 cloves,
So like we said before,
3 large cloves.
if you love garlic, you can use more. If you can't do garlic or somebody that you're cooking for can't do it, boom. And then we need broth too?
Yes, we'll need some broth, but right now we'll need some olive oil for this pot.
Okay. Olive oil in the pan, in the Dutch oven.
Yes, because we're gonna saute the,
And this is quick greens. A lot of people think it takes 5 days to make some greens. It doesn't. All right. This is really the quickest, best way to do it, and still get that flavor. What seasoning do you want to use for this? Some more Delta dust?
I want to use some Delta dust, just a little, but greens, I'm telling you, they don't need to cook all day. You probably are going to be a half an hour at the stove for these to get right.
And then let them rock?
Yeah, you don't have to overcook it though. They'll be fine. Once you get the flavor you like, and that stem is not tough anymore, they're ready. They don't need to cook all day.
No smoked turkey, no ham hock, nothing?
I don't do that. You can if you want to. I use the onions and the garlic. That's some flavor there. And I'll use just enough chicken broth to let it boil and simmer down to the doneness it needs to be. You can use the ham hock, whatever, some smoked wings, but you know, people have different needs right now, different tastes, and even people who like the smokiness of a ham hock also like this chicken broth.
So this is perfect if you got kids and they vegetarians, or if you are vegan, whatever. This is a meat-free, no meat at all, no pork, nothing, recipe. So this is an actual great alternative to what, because a lot of times you go to a soul food spot and somebody's like, oh, I don't eat meat or anything,
Right.
and then they be, oh, just have some vegetables. All the vegetables got pork in it.
Right.
All the vegetables got chicken in it. All the vegetables got turkey in it. So with that being said, this is a great alternative. There's a million recipes out there with the ham hocks and the smoked turkey. So this is a alternative way, different way, but also a great way. It's also my mom's way, which, I mean, how can you beat that as far as making these greens, okay? So we got our olive oil heated up, yeah?
Yep.
What's next?
Ready to start sauteing some onions and garlic.
So this is gonna be the best smelling part of the show. So just scratch your phone and you'll be able to smell what we're cooking, okay? You want the garlic or onion first?
I'd like the onion, please.
There you go.
Thank you.
And it's really important too, ahead of time, chop everything up ahead of time so you're not having to run back and forth. And that's when mistakes get made and everything like that. And you might accidentally cut yourself, you know what I mean? So just chop everything up ahead of time, you know what I mean?
Garlic, please.
All right, garlic, there you go.
I chopped a whole large onion, but I don't think I'm going to use it all. So
Okay. So how much you think you use? Just a half?
a little more than half.
All right.
Okay, do you have a whole onion over there, the size I used?
Yeah.
Okay, let's show the people.
So she used about a little bit more than just half of this, and this is yellow onion, right?
Right.
So this yellow onion, do you prefer yellow or just because I had yellow?
For this, I prefer yellow.
Okay. So just a little bit more than half of a yellow onion for that. And this is where that smell this is the smell that I remember growing up. You know, especially like how early would you say you would start Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh boy, maybe like 8 in the morning.
Really?
One memory, I think the kids have too, when we lived in New Jersey, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade happened on Thanksgiving. I'm a person, one of the things I like least entertainment-wise is a parade. I can take it or leave it. Parade and fireworks, I can watch it on TV, I'll be fine enough. So
Oh, it smells good.
their dad would take the kids to the Macy's parade, and I would be alone for probably 4 hours to get the dinner going. And that's a good memory I like to have.
Yeah, so you grew up like, you know, maybe less than an hour from New York City. So we were able to just drive right into the city. And then, of course, with traffic and everything like that, that's a nice 4 or 5 hour window with no kids running around.
Right.
By the time we got back, football's already going on.
Smells
So,
in the kitchen.
yeah. One thing the memory, because like, you know, smells can kind of unlock memories. I think always the first thing you would do, or you might even done it the day before, would be the deviled eggs. And the deviled eggs would just be chilling in the fridge because you don't want to serve hot deviled eggs. You want them kind of cold. And so the deviled eggs would just be chilling in the fridge. And I remember just going and cherry picking deviled eggs throughout the course of the day, waiting for that turkey. You want me to hold this?
I'm gonna start putting it in.
Okay. So this is unlocking some memory. So you're just doing a handful of greens at a time?
Yeah, I'm gonna put them all in.
Okay.
Because the greens still have water on them from being washed and rinsed. So this water's gonna cook right out of these greens. I don't have any extra liquid in the pan yet. Just have the olive oil. I'm not gonna cover them, and here's why.
Listen to this, y'all.
When you cover greens, they lose their beautiful color. Look at that live green
Look at the
color. And when you do that, when you cover them, it's going to turn gray, and it's going to not seem like it's fresh greens.
It's going to be ashy.
That ashy gray, and we don't want that. They're going to cook just as well or better with the lid off. I'm going to use these tongs to keep the greens moving, get it all on that onions and olive oil under there. Just move them around the pan.
And as that heat starts to, get everything, it's going to start to, of course, shrink, and she'll be able to move everything around. But that's one of the most important things I learned about the greens, learning from my mom, is to keep them uncovered while you cook them, and it'll maintain that rich green color. I mean, they're called greens. Instead of looking, you see those greens that look like they've been sitting out all day at a buffet, and they're like black or gray. The key thing is to keep them uncovered. What kind of greens are they? These are collard greens, right?
These are just collards. But many times I'll just make turnip greens mixed with some mustard. It depends on what green looks the best when you go to the market. I personally prefer turnip greens because they're bitter. I like a bitter green. But even, some greens you might not be so familiar with, like Swiss chard, I try that sometimes, mixing with the greens, or just as they are. That really doesn't take so long at all to mix that and serve that with something you like.
Yeah, so, those are just little tips of the trade. There's one thing about a recipe, but there's another thing when it comes to these little nuances and hacks and things like that. And I guess that's why I didn't really care for collard greens too much growing up, because they were so bitter. But now that I know you were mixing turnips in there a lot of the times, the bitterness as a kid, I didn't really care for them. There's a lot of things as a kid I didn't really care for. I didn't like spicy food a lot. She would get buffalo wings, like from like a takeout spot or whatever. She would get the buffalo wings, and then she would take like some, where we at? Like some Crystal's hot sauce. And she would put hot sauce on the wings, some more hot sauce on the wings, throw them in the oven, like broil them in the oven on 400 for like 5-10 minutes, and that'll just be the spiciest wings. I used to hate that. Now I love it. Now I love spicy, I love bitter and things like that. And this is things about...
It's a mature taste. Really.
Someone said, so you ever add watercress? So you don't ever do that?
No.
Okay. My grandmother showed me how to cook. There you go. Who would you say taught you to cook greens? How to cook greens? Your grandma, your mother?
Grandmother.
Yeah, my grandma, her mom.
Actually, they did cover and cook all day. That's the way I learned it, but this is what I've come to do.
Right.
Can you turn it up a little bit?
Yeah.
We're gonna add the chicken broth now.
Okay.
Already this is cooked down enough so it's not spilling out of the pot. So we're ready now to splash some chicken stock. I'm gonna probably use half a box of this, which would be about a cup, I think.
Okay, so a cup of chicken stock to start off with in the collards. Keep it uncovered, like she said. Talking about tales from back in the day, North Carolina, where my mom grew up.
Yeah, it sounds all wonderful and a great memory right now, but it's true. Our summer breaks was shelling peas and canning peaches, canning apples, peeling stuff for Mother to freeze, and she would be like, "You're gonna appreciate this in the fall." We're like, "No, we won't, Mother. We can just get them in a can, okay?" So
yeah, I mean,
I appreciate it now too.
Okay, so
we're cooked down half the pot already. See how it disappears. So when you're buying it, if you shopping for greens, you maybe get.
See how vibrant green that is, y'all? Look at that.
It's like 3 pounds. It goes to easily 1 pound after it's cooked down. So think of that while you buy and think how many people you're cooking it for. Give me that Delta too.
Some more Delta dust. Here you go.
Thank you.
And that's got that paprika. That's really what she's looking for in there. So we got the greens going right now at about high heat, and you just keep them like that, or
I'll turn the heat down a little bit, let them cook.
what? To like low?
More medium.
Okay.
That'll be fine.
Need me to stir them or anything?
Oh, you can just pick it up, move it around a little bit. You see how much it cooked down to?
Yeah, it's like less than half,
Yeah.
but it's enough. You know what I
And in
mean?
a moment, I'll taste it for seasonings again, but I think it should be just right.
Yeah, it look
You just
great.
need to cook a little more so it'll become tender.
All right, perfect.
You gotta be tempted to put the lid on that pot. Don't do it. Don't do it.
That's my mom over there talking. She's just taking a little TO.
Let's check it out, see what we have here.
And so after it reduces down like that, how much longer do you need to cook it?
You taste it and see if it's tender enough for you. You know.
Oh, so it's more about the feel than it is the taste. Well, it's about both, but more about the
The
feel.
taste, you already know. The feel, the degree of tenderness. Not for greens, you really do want them to be nice and tender. You don't need to struggle through a thick stalk.
Pretty much just cook them to the feels. Like, you don't want that snap. You want it to be a nice, clean bite almost. You know what I mean? So just got to go off that feel, cook as you go, and you'll be good to go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you use that code. So
That's good, Shawty.
I can hear you.
That's good, Shawty.
That's good, shawty. So listen, if she's saying it's good, and all she needed was a little pinch of salt and some Delta dust, it is that easy.
And look
that
how
easy.
quick that was. These are ready.
Look at these grains, y'all.
Ready. About a half an hour, right?
Was it even? Now we got our collard greens over here. Someone take a screenshot of this. Mom, I appreciate all the love, y'all. Here, let's do that heart thing together. You know how to do that?
Yeah.
You know how to do that?
Yeah.
There you go. Print it up. Much love.